I am joined by John Paul II. We are at Beaufort County Media Days. John Paul II football head coach Chris Meyers. Coach Meyers, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
It's been a hot summer. Like, not only has it been a hot summer, it's been a hot and wet summer, which is why we're getting these astronomical heat index. How much have you had to adjust what you would normally do in the summer based off of the weather?
We're pretty fortunate. We hadn't had to really adjust very much at all. Our summer workouts that were very well attended this summer, through June and July, we go 9 a.m. or 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. every morning. And so we got them in 4 days a week, got out of there. Now with practices, we've missed a few in the evenings with the rain. But at the same time, we moved to the evenings because our first scrimmage was at 6 o'clock on Monday. Our second scrimmage this Friday is a jamboree at 5:30. And our first kickoff next Friday night is a 5 p.m. kickoff. So we have tried to get in the heat as much as we could.
Trying to get them acclimated.
But the rain hadn't cooperated. Some afternoons have been actually kind of cool. But we try to get out into it as much as we can.
Absolutely. I think for us, it's been we had an abundance of people who had to worry about summer school and jobs, and so we chose to try to go really early for part of it. So we were doing 6 a.m. at one point.
Right.
And that was cool, but then you had attendance issues with certain people, and then we obviously have to adjust to the evening. So going there. When we come into a season, everybody's 0-0. So everybody has the opportunity to be whatever it is that
That's right.
You want to be. What is something that you look at that you guys do that gives you an advantage when you go into a football game?
Well, I feel like what we do is different from what other people do offensively. We run the triple option out of the flex bone, out of the gun a little bit too. And most people we see, I don't know of anybody else that does that right now, at least not on our schedule. And so that alone gives us a little bit of an advantage. Our schedule sets up a little odd this year. We'll have a non-region game against a region opponent next week, just because both teams needed an extra game. But we don't see them again for another 10 weeks. And so there's not really, there won't be a whole lot of carryover. After that, our second game of the year is a region game, which is odd to be that early. But then after that, we'll have about 5 weeks to kind of work on ourselves, work on what we do before we hit region play again. So how the schedule sets up is we'll have some time for our older guys to carry us early. And hopefully by the time we hit the region stretch, our younger guys will be serviceable and ready to step in.
Absolutely. And it's definitely different when you run triple. Most people will complain about, the triple and try to use it as a disadvantage. The one thing I say is because I like to use a lot of triple principles and stuff, especially when I'm in the pistol. When you put them in the gun, it's almost like their brain shuts off from triple. From the defensive side.
Correct.
And so it takes them a little bit to realize, oh, snap, wait, they're still doing the same thing. I always think that gives you an advantage. And it also allows you to use these guys who I'm looking at, 3 juniors and 3 seniors who all are very similar. It allows you to get a lot of those guys on the field at the same time.
It does, and it can be advantageous for us to not have one guy that people can key on, and we'll have a lot of touches spread out through a bunch of our guys. But what you said is accurate. That's why we do it. Under center in the flex bone, we'll block veer the same way we do out of the gun. But when you get in the gun, it looks prettier and people think it's completely different. We try to keep it as simple as we can for our offensive line. We are not a very big team up front, and we really haven't been over the last couple of years, which is one reason we have moved to the option, because we don't mess with the big boys up front. We try not to block as few as we can up front, and we just read them and try to get to the edge.
Now, Springfield College, up in Massachusetts, they've made a living off, not having the largest offensive lineman. They've been able to beat people with speed, beat people with technique. Is that something that you guys really focus on as far as how to equate, how to negate the size of your opponents on the defensive side?
We do. Like I said, the old saying, if he's a stud, you read him. If he's a dud, you can block him. And so we kind of do that. We find a defensive lineman that we can kind of pick on to a point. But we try to get our linemen working with their feet more than anything. We try to get to the second level blocking because of the size disadvantage we have. And we kind of rely on Peter over there and Tony running the dive and let our quarterback make the right decision.
Absolutely. I'm an admitted midline fanatic. love midline. It's probably been a base of stuff that I've run for years. It's because I think that, for lack of a better word, the three technique is usually the dumbest person on defense. At least that's what I tell people. And the fact that I don't have to worry about blocking that defensive end as well.
Right.
Setting that up with the trap um, tends to get three techniques frazzled. But then people will start to work with head up twos. Do you find that's a defensive adjustment? They'll try to head their guys up to not give you angles at
It is,
blocking?
I feel like we see some guys that I think are very good defense coordinators, and they take the approach of they're going to back off, play a base because they don't want to get beat on that one play. And then we see some teams on Friday nights that just throw junk at us, that just put a lot of guys on the line of scrimmage because they don't know really how to combat it.
Yeah.
Talking about dealing with the three techniques, we leave it up to our quarterback to a point. When he gets up to the line, he knows either what side of the ball we want to run to, or he knows which option we want to stick with, whether it's veer or midline, and he has the ability to check us out of it or check us into what we want to be in. So to a point, he has a choice as well.
Absolutely. Now, taking it off the field, because obviously one of the best things about being coaches is building relationships with these young men. Coach Bonner at Johnson High School calls what he does as a coach of ministry. I look at it as a mentorship. I'm the uncle that gives you all the game before you have to come into it. What's something that you and your staff have really keyed on as this is the thing we want to be able to make sure that every young man knows when they leave us to go to the next level?
Well, I think it's really more of a school-wide thing. At John Paul II, being a Catholic school, is faith is stressed a lot. Last year, towards the end of the year, our FCA got really involved with our practices, where they would visit with us once a week. Peter was one of the guys who stepped up and would always speak for us if we needed him to. So we try to bring them in that way, but the school itself kind of does a good job at having one mission, one direction, and everybody's pulling in the same direction.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I wish you nothing but success this year. Health, obviously, it'll be over before we know it, but it's always good to get back to another season.
It is, like I told the guy out there, we dread that one phone call that could shut us down for a few weeks, and that could be any time. We only have 4 seniors, and the biggest thing we stress to them is enjoy every day, because anytime it could end, but especially these last 2 seasons, that one phone call shuts us down. If it's in the middle of the year, week 6, 7, or 8, you get that call, it's over.
Yep.
And so every Friday night when we get to kick off, breathe that sigh of relief. At least we get to play tonight, and then we get through 4 quarters, and then we'll try to do it again.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Coach Chris Meyers, John Paul II, do you guys have a Twitter account?
We do. It's at JP2 Athletics.
At JP2 Athletics. So if you're looking to recruiting these young men at JP2 Athletics, I'm pretty sure you can get a hold of anybody from there. Coach Meyers, I appreciate you joining me.
I appreciate it. If anybody's interested in our guys, at C. Michael Meyers is also mine.
Absolutely.
And I can get you any information you may need.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach. We're going to roll in a few of your juniors right now. That's Coach Meyers from John Paul II. Juniors are coming up right now. Jackson Ogden, Peter Hughes, and Tony Hill. Jackson, have a seat, and then Peter and Tony, you two come around. Tony, you can stand closer to me since you're the taller of the two. Jackson can slide in. There we go. Not too far, Jackson. There you go. Peter, you want to come in? You come on over. Tony, appreciate you guys coming in again. Jackson Ogden, Peter Hughes, and Tony Hill. All 3 played running back at some capacity. Obviously, with a triple option, you're going to have some running backs around. Which one's the B back? Who's the B back over here? Anybody B back? A back? Fullback? Right. There we go. Big, and you can see why. Look, the boy's been rocked up. He's been in the weight room. This is all natural around here, by the way. All natural. It's where he sleeps. He sleeps in the weight room. Speaking of the weight room, one of the things that you have to have when you're charged at playing both ways, you got to be physically fit. You can't block, run for a 50-yard touchdown. Right. Then turn around, go to kickoff, and then all of a sudden you're on defense and you're gassed. What's the biggest thing that you've done And this could apply to anyone, but what's one of the biggest things that you've done personally to make sure that your fitness is up to that level?
Well, mainly what I do, other than of course weightlifting and
Beefcake.
stuff, just to keep making sure that my strength is up for when I'm running that ball, whether it be dive or whatever. Usually, I like to do a lot of conditioning, even on my own. I like to run. I'm okay with that. Whether it's just a couple miles around my house, whether it's just jogging around the field a couple times, or even with our team, usually we do a lot of conditioning. Coach stresses that a lot. Even if we're not the biggest kids, we got to be the most conditioned. So as long as we make sure that we keep our energy up, whether it be just getting each other hyped up, or just trying to make sure that no matter what, we stay conditioned with coach usually, but with our teammates, we'll usually try to do a couple things before coach gets there. Just little stuff that we do one-on-one together.
I got you, Tony. Obviously, coach alluded to it. You're not the biggest team in the world,
No,
right?
not at all.
So when you go out there and it's week in, week out, that you may be smaller than the person that lined up across from you.
Of course.
What's the thing that you take into the game that allows you to have confidence in what you're going to do out there on the football field?
I just when I go into a game, I can't be scared, because if I'm scared, I'm gonna get killed. And so basically, if these kids are 100-pound more than me, 4 inches, whatever, I mean, they're all bigger than me, so I have to put in the work. I have to hit them hard.
Absolutely. And Jackson, you've got the flyest number of all three of these. No offense to these, but when you're rocking the single digits, it hits different. It means something.
I've been waiting a while to get this.
You're a
jersey.
junior and
Yeah.
you got the single digit. Like speak to that. You're out there, you're looking fly. You've got that red hair. You've got that. Tell me about it. Like, what's it like to be out there on a Friday night and that everybody's watching you, everybody sees what you're doing?
Well, first of all, if everyone's watching you, you got to make sure you play good. That's the first thing. But I've actually been waiting a while to get this jersey. So our quarterback last year, since I've been a freshman, he's had number 2. So I've been waiting for him to leave so I can finally get number 2.
Okay, so you got to do this for me. Slide out a little bit so that everybody can actually see that jersey. Slide your chair out that way.
This way.
That way. There we go. That also, we want to get your head from beside the football, because quite honestly, the football and your red head, it just looks like one thing right there. No, so the QB from last year left. You jumped on the number 2. There's obviously a responsibility that comes with that, right? Because now everybody recognizes that number 2. What have you done to make sure that you can represent that number well?
I told him. He actually told me, he was like, "Gotta make sure like a really good person gets that." I told him I'm not gonna make it look like that. So actually, I've been trying to hit the weight room more this year, because last year I was actually a lot skinnier than this. Like you think?
Okay.
I was way skinny. I weighed about like 130 last year, and so I was like, maybe if I weigh more, I'll play like better or something. So I've been trying to hit the weight room.
That's what's up. I appreciate it. Jackson Ogden, Peter Hughes. Woo! Tony Hill. Really quick, shout them out. Give them your social. Where can they look at you? Where can they see what you're doing? Everybody, go ahead.
Twitter is at Jackson Ogden 9, I think. Yeah.
Jackson Ogden 9.
Instagram, Tony Hill SC.
Instagram. Hey, coaches, go open up an Instagram account so you can actually follow Tony Hill.
That's a good idea.
Get the Twitter account so that they can go and find you on Twitter. You got to get a little Twitter in your life. Go ahead.
Instagram as well, at Peter Jack Hughes.
Of course, he has Instagram because he's taking a lot of selfies in the mirror. Absolutely. Fellas, thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all are great sport. We're going to jump the seniors in here. One of them's going to hobble in, apparently, and then the other two are going to come join us as well. You can have the seat since,
I got the mullet going.
You got the mullet going. Was that on purpose?
I lost a bet with my brother.
You lost a bet with your brother that made you put a mullet on.
Yeah.
Your brother really does not love you, huh?
No.
I'm only kidding. All right, I'm joined by the seniors. 3 of the 4 seniors for John Paul II help me with your last name, Evan. How you say it?
Slusne.
Slusne. Evan Slusne, linebacker, wide receiver. Michael Carbone from New York, right? Brooklyn in the house.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Mark Knight, DB wide receiver. Obviously there's big responsibilities when you're essentially 75% of the senior class at the school. What have you done to prepare yourself for the leadership role that just naturally comes with being seniors?
How I prepare myself, I usually just like try and like motivate my teammates and like try and be a leader in like practice, so it translates into the game, stuff like that.
And so you're booted up. So were you leading a little too much, or is this just a little minor setback? Minor setback. You'll be good to go. I like it. Michael, you're from New York. How long have you been down in the South?
This is going to be my 3rd season playing football down in the South.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you play up north?
Yeah. I've been playing since I was 7.
So what's the difference between city ball up in New York versus how we get down here in the South?
Well, down here, I would say like football is like bigger. Like like Friday nights down here are like more intense, and that it's all the teams here are a little bit smaller, like with the number of kids. But some of the kids here are as good as the ones up in the city, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, Evan, being one of the resident good-looking people on the team, have you started back school yet?
Not yet. We go back on the 17th, I think.
Got you. So, how do you avoid getting mobbed by all of the girls at school on day one when, they're, oh my God, who is that?
I don't know.
It just
comes natural.
It just comes natural. You understand how to how to navigate those waters, right? This isn't something new for you. This is just what you do.
Yeah.
I feel you. I got it. In all seriousness, one of the things that I know about being a wide receiver linebacker is that when you have that level of physicality from the defensive side, you bring it over to the offensive side. What do you use? What kind of things do you use as a linebacker when you're lined up at receiver that helps you on that side of the ball?
Hands is a really big thing. I love reading people's hands. At least a big thing to me. Not necessarily a big thing in the game, but I just look at people's hands all day, and usually I can like kind of figure out what they're gonna do. Or if I'm on the receiving side, I use my hands all the time. Get 3-4 yards, push off. Get to mess them a little bit.
That's good. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't. No, I'm just kidding. Apparently, you've never seen like Talladega Nights or anything like that. No. Okay. What kind of program you running around here, Coach? That's okay. It's all right. It's a darn good movie. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I seen it.
You've seen it? Yes. You know what? The fist bumps to you. Now this is it for you guys. This is last trip around. Week 1 is almost here. It'll be over before you know it. What's the one thing that you're hoping to accomplish outside of a championship? Let's take that away, because everybody's looking to try to win a championship. Everybody's 0-0. What's one thing that you'd love to happen in your senior year?
Probably just get back in the playoffs and try and, I don't know.
Try to win a championship.
Yeah.
Well, I got you. It's all good. You know what? Singularly focused, Coach. I like it. I would have a goal of growing that mullet out. That's just me. That's what I would. My number one goal would be to not end the season looking like Billy Ray Cyrus. Now, if that's, I know you lost the bet, but that doesn't mean you have to keep it for the season, right? You're able to grow that back out.
I'll get rid of it.
You're gonna. Mark, you've been a really good sport about that mullet. I'm gonna tell you, at least you faded it in a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not your traditional mullet. What about you? One thing you're hoping to
Like
accomplish?
he said, make it to the playoffs. For
Mhm.
the past 2 seasons, we haven't made it, so
Mhm.
it'd be nice to make it for my senior year.
Absolutely.
I think like setting the program in a good place to be for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, you don't necessarily have to. Obviously, it's a big goal to go on and win the highest that you can,
Mhm.
but it's more important in the future rather than you just got to think about more than yourself in the scenario. So like the juniors for this year and the sophomores this year, they're gonna be juniors and seniors next year. So putting them in a
Absolutely.
good place to be.
And the fact that there's only 4 seniors means that you can be the catalyst for something really special at the school, and maybe you don't get to reap the benefit of it as a player, but as an alumni, you're attached to the school forever. So
Right.
that's a fantastic answer, and fantastic young men. Thank you for joining me. Evan Slusne Slusne. Give me your social, Evan.
Oh, I think it's Evan_Slusne just for Twitter.
Evan_Slusne. He thinks.
MC.8169 for Instagram.
Okay. No one's ever going to find that. No one's ever finding that. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you knew that no one's ever going to find. You better request somebody to follow you if you want to follow. Go ahead.
Oh, MTK Knight on Instagram.
That's what's up. Ladies and gentlemen, again, the seniors for John Paul II. Good luck this year, fellas. We're going to get the ladies in here. For the first time today, by the way, we have cheerleaders. I haven't had cheerleaders the entire day, and we are looking forward to talking to the people who set the tone for the spirit during a Friday night. Y'all have to move out, though. Yeah, even you, Slusne, even you have to go. I know, right?
Got it.
Brooke, you have to stand up because you're the tallest. That's what they said. I heard them. I heard it. Yes. So from my from your right, where you're looking at, from your left to right, we have Brooke Hubik, right? We have Asheley Burke, and we have Lissy Rembold. Ladies, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's a lot of responsibility to be part of the main part of the spirit for a football season, especially. I mean, I always talk to people, and it's like you separate cheerleading into 2 seasons. You got football season, sideline cheering, and then you have basketball season. What's really different about football season from basketball season for you guys?
Well, we actually only cheer for football at our school, so that's I guess the biggest thing for us. But
What?
yeah.
Okay. So you only cheer for football. I'm putting a petition in that basketball gets some spirit people in there. So Brooke, senior, junior, sophomore. Oh, sophomore.
Yeah, senior.
Senior, sophomore. They were like, bring the tall one. We got a tall one in there. Bring the tall one. You need some height.
Yeah.
So senior year,
Yeah.
you get the opportunity, very, very similar to the seniors on the football team. This is your last go round.
Yeah.
What are you really looking forward to?
Well, I've actually only been cheering for the past 2 years, and I moved from Massachusetts the
Massachusetts.
year before. Yep.
What part?
Like an hour south of Boston.
I will know the name.
Situate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, that's where I'm from.
Okay. I went to school in Fitchburg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
that's not anywhere near Situate, but you know
No,
what I mean.
not really. But
Yes.
yeah, but I'm just looking forward to like another great year. I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to do halftime routines and being able to stunt because last year with COVID and everything, they said we couldn't.
Yeah.
And I'm a gymnast, so I really like the tumbling and stunting aspect of cheer. So hopefully we get that, and then just team bonding and bringing spirit to the fans. You know.
Absolutely. So we'll look for you to be doing all the back handsprings as they get touchdowns. I like it. What about you?
So I've been on the team. This is my 3rd year, and I think I'm just really excited about this new team, and also just
as Ashley said, bringing more spirit. And I think with this group of girls, like, we have already such a good connection, and that'll just transfer over to the games, and we'll be able to share it with the crowd, pump them up, and just get everyone cheering for the boys on the field. And I think also my brother's on the field, so
Okay.
I'm kind of excited to watch
What
him.
what grade is he in?
He's a junior,
He's a junior.
and this is his first year playing
Oh,
football. So
That's awesome.
it's
So
kind
you're
of
excited for him. How many ladies on the team?
About 12.
About 12.
Well, I think it's 12.
Yeah.
You think it's 12? It's like it's maybe it might kind of sort of be 12, and maybe 13.
Yeah.
If it's 13, we apologize to that 13th person. You are loved. Trust us. One thing that you do as a group to bond.
So on like Friday nights, since we're a private school, we don't really have time to like go all the way home usually. So we'll just stay after school and like order food from wherever and just kind of get ready, like do our makeup together, do our hair, the girly things, and like
Absolutely.
chat and yeah. So
Don't get it twisted. They do their hair and makeup before the game as well.
I'm sure
They're all in the mirror. I'm like, you're about to put a helmet on, dude. What are you doing? I gotta look good for my babies. It's crazy. So that type of camaraderie. Have you sensed that you're a sophomore, right? Is this your first year
Yes.
cheering?
Yes.
So have you sensed that closeness, that togetherness that the ladies have?
Yeah, we've had like a couple practices together.
Uh-huh.
It's just really nice to like meet everybody for the first time because I like just moved.
Oh, really? Where'd you
Yeah.
move from?
Dallas, Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dallas. So you're over here from Dallas. You didn't cheer in Dallas?
Oh
Or
no,
did you?
I did in like middle school and then I
Okay.
did dance and now I'm doing cheer.
Got you. So we've got tumblers, we've got dancers. Anything you specialize in? She's like, no, I just
Cheer.
specialize in being awesome. That's all. Ladies, once again, thank you. We have Brooke Hubik, Lissy Rembold, and Asheley Burke. She's like, get my name right. Get my name right. Cheerleaders for John Paul II. Ladies, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And thank you. That was a nice, lengthy conversation. We appreciate all the people that came out to hang out with us from John Paul II. Beaufort County Media Days. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We'll be back soon.